Hi everyone, Wave 3 News meteorologist Ryan Hoke here with you with this edition of the Hokey video blog. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning so far after a very loud Friday night, which canceled some of those Friday night football games for the high schools across the area. They've been postponed until today. We'll go over that forecast here in just a second. Had a line of storms develop north of I-64. They sank southward very slowly, while not everyone got the rain. In fact, a lot of folks were dry last night. Those that did were in the most populous areas of Kentuckiana, and that was unfortunate because that's where most of the high school football games were as well. So hopefully we can avoid that today. I think we will. All right, right now, let's get to today's Hokey weather fact. We talked a couple weeks ago about the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane and said that there's only a difference in name. It's the same kind of storm, just named differently. Well, a Wave 3 News director came up to me and asked, where exactly is the line between typhoon and a hurricane name? Well, you've got hurricanes east of the international date line and typhoons west of there. So typhoons in East Asia, hurricanes in the eastern Pacific out toward Hawaii. And then to throw another one on there, it's called a cyclone out toward Storm Tracker 3D radar. It's relatively quiet across the area. Had a few showers and thunderstorms over the western half of our counties that moved through overnight. That was kind of a secondary thing after what we had last night for the football games. Those have moved southward. Had a little bit of a pop-up shower in E-Town, and now it's fizzled out. It's gone. In fact, I don't think there's a whole lot out there to support much in the way of these pop-up showers this morning because we're just not unstable enough. But, I mean, there could be one or two across our southern portion of our area, but I think it's even less than a 10% chance at this point. I'll turn on the visible satellite view so you can see what's going on with the clouds, and you'll notice that we've got a few of them across the area thanks to that complex of storms we had earlier. They're trying to flow southward out of the region, and now as the sun comes up, we can see some of the lower level clouds because really the infrared satellite view that you're able to see overnight can only see the cold topped ones from storms. So you'll see in that circle there that we've got a few of those cumulus clouds trying to develop up there already, and a few south of Metro Louisville as well. Heat advisory, it's in effect for the entire weekend across most of Wave Country until Monday at 7 p.m., since those heat index values will be approaching 105 at times. That's something we haven't seen much of this summer at all. Here are those cumulus clouds we talked about just south of Louisville before on the satellite view. You can see them here on our SkyTrack camera from Jeffersonville looking at the beautiful Louisville skyline. So, yeah, we've got a few of these cumulus clouds, but they're not getting very tall yet. Until they get tall, we're not going to have much of a shower or a storm chance. So I think that we do have kind of a little level of sinking air, maybe a level of capping inversion up there that's keeping things from getting stormy and out of hand this morning, keeping things calm out there. But muggy, 70s area wide, 74 in Louisville, 68 in Seymour. They're the cool spot, but that temperature sensor seems to run a little cool, 72 in Hardinsburg. This is the real story, the dew point. Anything above 70, nasty, oppressive, sauna-like. We've got an area wide, 70 in Gordon, 72 in Litchfield. Don't look now, but check out Madisonville out in western Kentucky, 75 degrees for a dew point. Yuck. I remember the highest dew point I've ever experienced here in the metro was 82 once. That was a few summers ago. Incredibly nasty. Thankfully, we don't have that kind of humidity, but it's still bad, and it's going to be bad throughout the day as we get temperatures up toward 90 by 2:30. No storms yet on Futurecast, and you'll notice a batch of clouds moves in. I think this may hold off the storms if we can get this batch of clouds in here because it'll limit the instability. It continues on through 7 o'clock. We get a few breaks in there, and that's where I think the storm chance will come from. And I think the storm chance will also be helped somewhat, at least east of us, by a boundary that'll be moving in. It'll be moving in very slowly as it does, and that'll provide a focus for these storms to develop. I've pegged our storm chance at 30%, but the latest data is seeming to suggest it may be lower than that. Let's hope so. We need a break after last night, don't we? And as you'll see, we go throughout the overnight hours, and those storms, they dissipate. Now, any storm that does form today could put down some very heavy rain, a few instances of gusty winds, and lightning, much like last night, but I don't think it'll be as widespread or as impactful as it was last night. Many of those high school football games did reschedule to this morning and this evening, so if you're heading out at 11 o'clock, rain chances pretty much zero at that point. 81 degrees, still high humidity, high temperatures. reach into the lower 90s by this afternoon. And we'll see a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms by 3 o'clock, slightly better chance by 7. And really with this heat and humidity, make sure those players have enough water out there today. Make sure they're kept cool, they get breaks. This is not what you want to mess around with. We're not used to this because we haven't had it much this season. So we're going to want to make sure that everybody's taken care of, including the elderly and your pets as well. This pattern really continues as we go throughout your Sunday and your Monday. There's that stationary frontal boundary out to our west. It's the one that's coming through today. A few of those isolated storms try to pop up on Sunday, and that's the same story on your Monday. It's a very small coverage. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal at all. That cold front waiting out there in the west is going to stay out there for quite a few days. It's interesting to note that the GFS model, the operational version, tries to bring this thing through Thursday into Friday, but no way. Not going to happen because not only does the Euro say it's going to wait until the weekend, next weekend, to come through and maybe stall out, but we've got the Canadian model on board and what are called the ensembles of both the GFS and the Euro on board. That's basically the same model, the GFS and the Euro, with different physics and different things tweaked in them so that you get a slightly different solution each time. And so when those are saying that we're going to wait for the cold front till next weekend, then, pretty much this is going to be the case here. All right. So this heat wave over the next several days, want to go over a few precautions because we're going to be in the 90s till Wednesday. Drink lots of water, keep the pets indoors during the heating of the day, and check on those elderly folks. Make sure they get through this all right as well. So the big story, the heat and humidity, the lesser story, the storms, but for last night, certainly that flipped as we did have more storms than we did the heat out there. All right, that's it for now. I'm meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Enjoy your Saturday.